Cairo is the most populous city in Africa, but the country has been convulsed by conflict since the regime of the tin pot despot Hosni Mubarak was ousted through a popular uprising. Once a vibrant city with a galloping economy, Cairo today is a ghost town.
If most of the people don't like what happened in 30th of June, you will find millions of people in the street. And we are now 90 million, you don't find anyone in the streets. Some people there, some people there. If you have 1,000, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, it's if you just deduct it from 90 million, you will give you the conclusion.
Captain Mohammed Hamdy, a businessman with the Egyptian Arab Foundation for Import and Export, says that the toxic politics of the Muslim Brotherhood has scared Egyptians off the streets. Their headquarters were once located in this sprawling town of Mohattam.
Make the Christian people afraid, make everybody afraid, everybody not going with them, even a Muslim people, even any religion in Cairo, they are look for him as an enemy.
He believes the Muslim Brotherhood enjoys support from elements outside the country.
Just a very small calculation, if you have, if we catch every month $100 million guns coming from outside of Egypt, the most country in the world, as I'm an old work in an old border guard before from 14 years ago, the most country in the world can protect itself by 25%. That means you have every month more than $400 million by guns coming inside the country. You think this is a Muslim Brotherhood organization do that, or someone bigger than them do that? I think those people not work by themselves. As you see in Sudan, Muslim Brotherhood now more than 20 years in Sudan, and you see now Sudan, separate Sudans, and before that they hate the Christian, and you know the Christian in Sudan in Muslim Brotherhood time, they just work in two things, as a driver or as a servant, cannot work with them more than this. And for that they came separate now. And you found here in Egypt, we have a businessman Christian, we have a businessman Muslim, we have a businessman Jewish. This is Egypt. Egypt is much, much different. We cannot separate the people.
But there is a ray of hope as the normalcy slowly returns after the military ousted Mohammad Morsi.
90 million. If you are not safe, must die 50 million. If you are not safe, must die 10 million at least. But if you have 3 years in revolution, 3 years in a weak police, 3 years in a troubles, and we still like that, it's a miracle. If you found it in other countries, I didn't think so. Egyptian different from other people. We are not better than other people. No, we are just special in our believing. We are 7,000 years as an Egyptian.
Mohammed says there is religious diversity in his country, although a few bad elements have portrayed intolerance.
Egypt is a Christian country, came a Muslim country. We are not a Muslim country, came a Christian. My mother-in-law is a Christian, and my wife is a Muslim. This is Egypt.
When I probed him about the man who was supposed to liberate Egypt after the fall of Mubarak, he gets agitated.
Morsi fell because he's a liar. He tell, I will do. 1 year he didn't do anything. Anything. No one step in the front. Our currency came down, the factories closed, blah, 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 everything.
To Mohammed, the only fate that should await Morsi is death by hanging. Before Egypt descended into anarchy, tourism was the economic pulse of the country. More than 10 million people were employed in the tourism sector, as thousands flocked to the country seen as the cradle of civilization.
You are the source of everything. We cannot be the people who cannot read and write.
On January 14th and 15th, Egyptians will vote in a referendum to determine their political destiny. Would they vote to have a new constitution? I asked rhetorically.
Here in Egypt, you have more than 60–70% like to say yes because like to have the life going on. Maybe you can control 10–20 people, 10–15%, not more than this. Most of the people like to have a stable life. For that, the election will be in January, more than 70% will say yes. It's very easy.
The draft constitution calls for the ban of radical religious parties and advocates for powers to be put in the hands of the military. The retired captain in Egypt's Navy forces is nostalgic about the good old days and his country's special place in the annals of history.
It's Egypt, which you have it in a Holy Quran, in a Bible, in everywhere you found Egypt. Egypt written in all the boxes of the sky. Egypt. Not Saudi, not England, not United States, not India.
And for him, there's no way his country can remain trapped in anarchy.
If you know any country make a revolution, go back. That's mean the most man which must become Mubarak, because he's controlled 30 years.
President Morsi, who was ousted this July, if found guilty of plotting with foreigners to carry out terrorist attacks in Egypt, faces the death sentence. On Wednesday, Egypt's military government blacklisted the Muslim Brotherhood barely hours after an attack on a police headquarters in a town north of Cairo, which left 15 people dead. Florence, NTV.